Hey, 2013 Toyota Highlander, oil change and filter. First you want to do is pop your hood. Make sure it opens. Raise the vehicle and support it. I have a lift, so that's what we're gonna do. Okay, oil filter socket. You're gonna need that. Don't do it without it, okay? 14 millimeter and a 15/16 to fit my socket. Okay, what you want to do is drain your oil, but you need a 10 millimeter, and you got to remove this little panel on the bottom down here. 2 10s. Okay. And this panel comes down, and that's where your filter's at. And there's where your drain plug is at. Okay? Loosen your drain plug counterclockwise. Here's the drain plug. I got it loose already. I put a socket on it, wrench, ratchet, and pushed it that way. Okay, we're ready. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I'm gonna let that drain for a while. I gotta turn my fan off because it's gonna blow it everywhere. Okay, see it? Dripping? Alright, make sure your gasket's still good on your drain plug and make sure it's there. Okay. Good in there. And put your tool on there and tighten her up. Okay, now that you get the drain plug tight, wipe it off. Now it's time for your oil filter tool. Goes on there like so, like that. And I got me a nice breaker bar, and I'll break it loose. I'll give the breaker bar a good jerk. Boom, hit it with my hand. It's sudden impact on it, and breaks it loose. The socket will stay on the filter housing. I'll unthread it, and then we'll just start leaking all over the place. And she just hold on to it and dump it, okay? No right or wrong way of dumping it, that's for sure. All right, yeah, here it is. Inside here, underneath there on this piece, there's a drain plug. And you can drain this housing so you don't get all this oil coming down. But, just another thing to take apart. So who cares really? I ain't doing it. Filter just slips on there. Okay, so you want to replace your O-ring. Comes with the filter, put a new O-ring on it, put the new filter in there, and then you'll put it back up. Here's your new filter. Filter, big O-ring and a little O-ring for the drain. And this is for the drain. After you take the plug out and put that in there, and ooh, you drain it out. Oh boy. Okay. Alright, so switch it. Here it is. New filter, new O-ring. Haha. I was lazy once and I left the O-ring on there with the old one. And he was backing out of my driveway, out of my garage. There was a stream of oil coming right from the stupid filter housing because I didn't change that O-ring. Shame on me. Okay, there's the hole up in there. Make sure you don't drop this because inside there, it just like there's a spring and you push this metal piece down and you turn it and it comes apart. So be careful if you drop it. And it kind of unsprings itself. At least you'll know how to go back together. So, okay. I'll put that back up in there. I'll get it up in there as far as I can with my hand. And I'll put my breaker bar on it. See the 3/8 square drive? That's the drain plug for the housing, okay? So you take that off and you just drain out the oil that's inside there, so. You're still gonna make a mess, so might as well just make one mess. Okay, Got my panel back up. Got my 2 screws in there. My drain plug's tight. My filter's tight. Wiped it all off. I'm gonna lower it down part ways. I'm gonna check my tie rods, my wheel bearings, and my tire pressures. And I'll lower it down and I'll put my oil on it. And if you're gonna jack it up, make sure you jack it over on the sides on the pinch welds. Okay, because there's nothing under here to raise it up with if you're gonna use a jack. See? No jacky. Alright. Yeah, when you got it up in the air, you want to check your struts to make sure they're not leaking oil. I'll be leaking oil out of here. And this black piece will be all wet. And be running down. Okay. And check for a broken spring. I don't see no broken spring. Goes all the way around. Looks good. And then you want to check for tie rod end. You want to go right to left. You know, grab here and grab here. 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Pull them right to left. Nothing. And then sometimes you got a ball joint. You have to grab it down here at 5 o'clock and 11 o'clock. You get a ball joint movement. You know. Either way, try it all times, different spots. See if you got any play. If you don't have no play, then looks like everything's tight. Same thing for the back tires. You can check for looseness in that. You know, wheel bearing to be up here on the top and I'm down the bottom. You know, pull, push, pull, push. You know, same thing side to side. Okay, and your tire pressures. Set your tire pressures are all good. Everything's tight. It's all good. Then I'm gonna lower it down, and this is 0-20. It's gonna take 6 quarts. But always double check yourself and make sure, you know, because you never know, dipsticks might be off a little bit or the fluid, you never know. Okay, I put my oil in. I'm gonna put my cap back on. And I'll start it and I'll double check it. Took it off with the pliers. I'm gonna put it on with pliers because I've always had these things leak. Top off your washer solvent. I squeeze my upper air hose. It feels kind of like there's nothing in there. So I'm gonna top that off. Never know, I might have a small leak somewhere. Money, money. Okay, I started it up and then I shut it off and then I checked my fluid on my dipstick and it's perfect. So I topped off my coolant, topped off my washer solvent. Air filter uses 10s. Remove the 2 10s and you can lift it up a little bit and move it to the side a little bit because it's got these 2 things here. But you know, Toyotas, gotta be careful because they got real small vacuum lines right here. And if you don't be careful, you'll break them off. Okay? All right, this is done.